Yeah, spectacular. Absolutely spectacular here in the outdoor version of the office. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, right. Go Leafs. Whatever. All right. Hey, welcome to season 7, episode 5 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. We are powered by Grantham Home Hardware, supported by Niagara Parks Commission, Vera Wellness, Verge Insurance, and we are streamed by Canada's premier streaming service and produced by WeeStreem. And as per usual, we are inside this lovely downtown St. Catharines eatery, Fiddler's Pour House at 149 St. Paul Street. These are your specialities for the day, and what a beautiful day it is. This is the kind of weather we've been waiting for. March the, what are we, 4th? Yeah, March 4th. Apparently it's going to get cold again, but I almost want to just do the show from out here. Okay, let's get inside and figure out what the hell it is we're doing today. I have no idea. Actually, I do, kind of. We're going to start off the program, and I'll go into it in more detail because I don't want to do what they're calling spill the beans or do spoiler alert. There's a big story around Niagara, kind of, and that's kind of what I want to ask you. I want to ask you whether you think it's a big story or whether it isn't, because it's not the first time that this issue has been raised Niagara region wide. Not at all the first time. Going back 20, 30 years, I don't know, I can't even pick a date right now. But we really would love you. We don't have a lot of planned guests today, so it's pretty much wide open for you, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. So in about 30 seconds, we'll be back, and I'll tell you what we're going to try to do today, along with you, and come on in. All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, as long as they're not caught up in a tree. I don't know if you saw that story this week. Anyway, here we are. Season 7, episode 5, Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. That would be moi. And what I was talking about on the way in was this Niagara amalgamation thing. Now, on the surface, to be honest, it's a pretty dry topic. It's like, oh, here we go. Oh, here we go again. Niagara region amalgamation. Oh, how interesting is that? Well, maybe it'll be more interesting. This time, the dynamics have probably changed a fair bit since the last time that it came up. We have a new chair in Bob Gale at the region. We have 126 politicians currently governing the region of Niagara, including regional government council and its representatives, as well as 12 municipalities that go along with that. That's a whole lot of politicians. And the government, the provincial government, which is kind of sort of the harbinger of this initiative and kind of calls the shots when it comes to regional boundaries in Ontario, has said it's up to Niagara to decide, even though they were kind of driving the initiative. Where I'm going with this is we all have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. There's no line, but I won't use it. But anyway, what we would really, really like to do is turn this into sort of a open line, the Niagara Speaks kind of show, and I would love you to feel free to join us with your opinion, if you have one, on this amalgamation thing. And I mean, there's a number of levels to this story. Is it an issue for you? Is it not an issue for you? If so or if not, why not? Or if so, why? Kind of like who's on first. But, and in addition to that, where would you like to see it go? And how would you like to see it go there? There are a lot of different levels of questions. Councils, city and town councils around Niagara are in the throes of debating this thing right now. And like I said, Kevin and I could wax philosophic about the topic all day long, but that's not really what we want to do with this. We would really prefer it if you weighed in and gave us an opportunity to hear what you think, because we're one of the very few venues that has the technology and the avenue and the possibility for you to do that. Most times, the citizens of Niagara suffer in anonymity because there is a lot of people who have no place to go to voice their opinion or to have an opinion or to ask questions or whatever. And if it's supposed to be decided by the people of Niagara, how the hell is that going to happen? I don't know. So we would love you to come in and participate on the show. That's basically the end of it. Kev?
Yeah, we got one here. So I think you went over it, but if you want to join the program, there's the Zoom link right there in the post.
Yeah,
right?
I was getting there, but I didn't do it.
Right at the top. So if you guys are familiar with Zoom, just click on that. We'll throw you in, and Lee, you pretty much covered it. You know, listening to us talk about this all day, you said you've been talking about this for 35 years, so
yeah,
no fresh opinions here, but I know a lot of people have a lot that they want to say and get out there, so this is a good forum for it. So we've got Al that's joining the program. All right, let's bring him in here, Lee, and then I'll let you talk to Al.
Well, gladly. Hey, Al, how are you?
Good. How you doing today?
I am great. Thank you for asking. It's always good when the sun shines, man.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful day out there today.
Yeah. So, Al, you and I kind of know each other viscerally through Facebook and other platforms and that kind of thing. Thank you for coming into the program, by the way. It's awesome. And anybody else can do that too. Just click on the link and we'll put you in a queue and we'll have a conversation. So, a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was now, a letter came out to everybody from Regional Chair Bob Gale suggesting the fact that as amalgamation of Niagara has remained top of mind awareness for many, many, many years now, it was time, he thought, to try to move the initiative forward, and was looking for, within 2 weeks, input from mayors and councils, et cetera, et cetera. So, for somebody that's been pretty fiscally involved over the years, what's your take on this thing?
I'm finally glad it's gotten to this. I think we're at a point, even just as a taxpayer, as I mentioned in front of City Council the other night, I'm beyond frustrated. We've seen the past 4 years, we've seen tax increases that have consistently exceeded inflation. And what do we have to show for it? Well, we have a $110 million infrastructure deficit, and we have our wastewater treatment plants are rated poor to very poor. And in addition to this, these multi-year massive budget increases from both the region and the city as well has resulted in a troubling rise in the number of people that are defaulting on their property tax rates, not only here in St. Catharines and Niagara Falls, but across the region. And it's become very, very serious. So the time for change has passed. We're at a critical stage here in the process.
Now, there are a couple of different levels of conversation in this conversation. The first thing that continues to be stressed is that we have 126 elected members, 126 politicians. Yeah. In the region of Niagara, including the regional council plus the 12 municipalities. Yeah. So that's the one thing, is the size of governance.
Yeah.
The other thing, as you were referencing, is the financial impact. We hear a lot of opinions, or I've seen a lot of opinions saying there's no proof that it would save money, whether you go to, now the two options are 4 cities or 1 city, or 4 municipalities or 1 municipality versus what it is now. So based on either one of those scenarios, there are those that say it's not really going to save money. Okay, and then others say it's obvious it's going to save money. Then on the flip side, the only thing that the provincial government seems to make mention of is the fact that we have too many politicians. well, do you have to amalgamate to cut down on the number of politicians? Or is it about saving money? Or is it both?
Well, I mean, they're good questions. Like the premier identified when he was first elected that 126 politicians across Niagara is just far too many. But that being said, the real issue here is with regards to whether or not this is going to save money. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Marvin Ryder was the lead transition person when for the Hamilton amalgamation. They found $25 million in savings. They found they were able to reduce corporate income tax. And he made an observation to say that despite finding all of these savings, politicians always find a way to take these savings and spend them on other priorities. And I found that to be quite an interesting observation. It's no different than what happened here in St. Catharines when we uploaded transit. We uploaded transit to the senior level of government of the region, and the city went and spent all of those funds on other priorities, putting monies into reserve, hiring more staff, instead of giving that money back to the taxpayer.
So let me ask you one more question before we kick you loose. Thanks, Al, for checking in here. I just dropped my pen. Excuse me.
Yep.
I can't work without a pen. So, with regard to this structure and the next steps, Premier Ford said, we're not going to dictate what is happening in Niagara, which came as a bit of a surprise to some, because you have to make the decision in Niagara. Okay, so now we've got 126 politicians that are going to have to make that decision. Isn't it kind of like putting the rooster in charge of the hen house? I mean,
it is. It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah. How do you negotiate to reduce the size of government when you're the government?
I don't know. And to be honest with you, I think that's one of the challenges. That's what Premier Ford had mentioned at the hospital announcement last week. He said, no one's going to vote themselves out of a job. So I don't know how you do it. I mean, if they're going to take an approach to this and want to reduce the politicians, they need to look at what core services, look at it from a service perspective. What core services do we need to offer? How do we best manage those services? The governance structure will take care of itself after that.
Yeah. All right, Al McKay, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your input. Have yourself a great day.
You as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Cheers, Al. All right, so that's what we'd kind of like to hear from you, and just to make it a little bit easier for you to do that and share everything that's going on here. You're watching Niagara 411 live with Lee Sterry on Facebook, Niagara 411. If you would just pick up that show, because we're just refresh your Facebook page, and you'll find us come up. And then if you click on share at the bottom right corner, that'd be awesome. And when that comes up, if you could click share now, that would be great, because now we're even better connected, if that's the right phrase, than we were a few minutes ago. Yeah, so we would love to hear your opinion, pro, con, whatever. This show doesn't have an opinion, other than to say it's not the first time we've revisited this, and it still seems that it might be, as it has been in the past, a rather cumbersome process, which is kind of ill-defined as far as what is the process now. As per the letter from the regional chair, the mayors were given a couple of weeks. I don't know if that's enough time, but that's up to you, whatever. Anyway, given a couple of weeks to provide feedback on the concept or concepts of reducing regional government plus 12 other municipalities to either 4 cities or 1 city. That'd be a pretty honking big city, wouldn't it? What do we got, Kevin, in Niagara? Half a million?
Yeah, something like that. You know what, Lee? I pulled out the map the other day just to compare and contrast the size of Niagara to what is now the amalgamated Hamilton.
Right.
They're about the same size, geographically, to be honest.
Okay.
I was debating with somebody, they're like, yeah, but Hamilton's so much smaller. I'm like, I don't think it is.
No.
And when you consider when they amalgamated, it was Dundas and Flamborough, Glanbrook, things like that.
Yeah, right.
The actual, outline of Hamilton is about the same size as Niagara.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I'd be fine with one level of government. I'd be fine with regional levels. What I'd love to see is our councillors paid more, Lee. I'd love to see a reduction in the total number and have them paid more. I'm somebody I don't want to say I'm on the front lines. I do a lot of work in these municipal.
Well, you witness councils up close and personal quite often.
5.5 hours last night in the city of Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, yeah.
And I'll tell you, for a councillor to do an adequate job, it needs to be a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I think it was Lori Littleton, when she was leaving her 4 years at the city of St. Catharines, she addressed council and said, listen, something has to change. If all you're ever going to do is offer $24,000, $28,000, the only people that can fulfill this job are old, retired, rich people. So all you're going to see in this room is basically old white guys. And take a look around, people. Look at who we're governed by. It's old white guys everywhere. And I'm saying this as somebody who's becoming an old white guy.
Yes.
Right. So I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them paid adequately at a full-time rate, so that young people, could consider going into politics.
There was a recent. I agree with that, as trying to engage the next wave of decision makers and leaders in our society, and increasingly we have a dearth of younger people with different ideas or new ideas coming up through the ranks, because politics is kind of almost the world's oldest profession. I know that's a moniker usually attributed to another line of work, but politicians have been in vogue forever, from the time democracies were first formed or tried to be formed, or even back in the tribal days. It was still politics. I mean, politics is a wide-ranging field, and it's very alive and well around the planet in its various forms. So you're always going to have politics, but at what level? And I agree with Kevin on this point, as far as the fact that these positions are historically underpaid. There was a story of this past week in that councillor of St. Catharines, Haley Bateman, it was voted that she would not be penalized 3 months' salary because of an infraction back in September of something she said after the shooting of Kirk, and there was an investigation, et cetera, as the integrity commissioner, et cetera, and all through that. So, and at the end of the day, what it boiled down to is the fact that the amount, I believe, it mentioned in the story, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I will gladly stand corrected, but I believe that the salary for a St. Catharines sitting councillor right now is about $45,000 a year. Now, on any level,
nah, that can't be right, Lee.
Well, that's what I saw.
I don't think they're up that high.
That's what I saw in the.
I'm going to look it up. I will look it up. I think.
Please do.
Yeah, no, I want to know.
Because that's what, which meant they said that the 3-month penalty would have been somewhere around $11,000. So those were the numbers that I read.
Oh, sorry, she's a regional councillor.
Oh, regional council. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I said St. Catharines City Councilor. I apologize. Yeah, Haley is a.
Yeah, and regional councillors, I think, are up to that rate.
Yeah, okay.
I'd love to see it doubled. I'd love it to be an $80,000 position.
Well, the point, my point being, whether it's 28 or 45, is it's not a wage that you would qualify as a healthy full-time salary for any full-time job these days. The amount of work that goes into being a counselor, be it city or regional, is there's an awful lot of reading to do, an awful lot of reports to do. And if you want to do your job well, because I know some regional counselors, and I've known a few over the years, it's almost impossible to do your job well and have enough time to do your other job if you have one, or whatever. So yeah, I think the whole governance, as well as compensation, and like the whole machine kind of needs to be retooled. But I don't have any particular hard and fast suggestion for exactly how that should be done, because it is up to you. It is up to our politicians, but it's up to our politicians as representatives of you. And if you don't step up and ask them or tell them what you think they should be doing or what they should be thinking, then we're going to crash and burn like we have every other time that they've talked about amalgamation in Niagara, and there have been many. Anyway, there we are. Please click in and have a chat with us, Let us know your thoughts. And this is friendly fire. You're not going to have an argument because everybody, as I said, has an opinion. And we'd love to hear yours. Yeah, before we miss the boat here completely, Daylight Saving Time strikes this weekend. Officially, the time would be 2 a.m. on Sunday. But generally, it's, whenever you go to bed on Saturday night, turn your clocks ahead, and that solves the issue with that. On that note, it was interesting today when it made national news that the province of British Columbia will experience its last time change this Sunday morning because they're not going back to standard time. Saskatchewan is also, they've for years not switched their clocks around. BC is just saying that, no, the heck with it. We're staying on daylight time, which everybody I talk to seems to think is a good idea. But as far as Ontario is concerned, Ontario, the province, the legislature, provincial parliament, whatever, they voted in favor of one time system, daylight time. But the condition that they put on it at the time was they would only change, meaning Ontario would only change, if Quebec and the state of New York also changed their policies and we were all on the same clock. That hasn't happened. It doesn't, from any of the articles that I read about it today, it doesn't look like Quebec is even close to considering it. They said, we have another or 100 or so more important issues, and Quebec certainly does. Then the province of Alberta said, well, now we might kind of consider it because, they've got now provinces on either side of them that are only in one time zone. You got Saskatchewan to the east, BC to the west, so Alberta is kind of, caught in the middle there. The other thing Kevin and I were talking about too is, okay, so this presents an issue for the entertainment business, television, radio, internet, broadcast, like the whole Magilla is affected by this. Right now, if you're playing a hockey game on the West Coast, there's a 3-hour difference between BC and Ontario. Well, come the time when the rest of the country, Ontario, switches back to standard time, and BC doesn't, well, now we've got a bit of a can of worms here, don't we? Because now we've got an hour difference with all of the entertainment, all the TV, all of the broadcast, the whole thing, including travel time for teams and the whole schlingel. It's all out of whack now. How do we do that?
Yeah, you can't really do that lone wolf, can you?
Well, this is my point. Yeah.
It's really weird. Like, to be a business operator in British Columbia right now, like, are they just trying to call the bluff and force the hand of Washington, Oregon, and California? Get them on board? 'Cause
I haven't seen, to be fair, I haven't seen the British Columbia Premier address any of those issues, and I'm sure they thought it through or attempted to think it through, but I haven't heard or seen. Now, they may have done so, but I haven't seen any of them address those issues, because it's like, yeah, we got Washington State, we got California, we got North Dakota, South Dakota, like all those border states that Canada does a fair bit of trade with. Now, the Dakotas are more south of Alberta than they are BC, but you got Washington State and California. It's a bit of a conundrum wrapped up in an enigma, as they used to say.
I mean, you're turning yourself into Newfoundland, which is always the butt of jokes.
And they've got a half hour. Like, who figures that one out?
Is there anybody else in the world that operates on that Newfoundland time, or is it only Newfies?
That's only them, I think. I don't think it's like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, any of those. It's just Newfoundland, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you went further south, into the Atlantic, and all of a sudden there's some island nation off the coast of South America. Or
I don't know. There might be an island of 5 people down there somewhere.
But yeah, I think it's just
not counting Rhode Island.
So I had to do that crazy math because a couple of weeks ago on the show we had Victor Pietrangelo here, and now his rink is making waves out in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
So the 2026 Montana's Briar is happening right now.
Right.
On the weekend, I don't know if people are following this, if you're just getting up to speed with this now,
Yeah.
but there is Victor Pietrangelo from Niagara Falls, residing in St. Catharines. He's about 23 years old.
Oh, we've talked to him.
His roommate goes to Brock, and both of them are representing Ontario right now in
At the
Newfoundland.
Briar.
At the Briar. So, I mean, look at these guys. You know, fresh out of university. On Sunday, they played Brad Gushue, hometown hero, former Olympic champion, 6-time Briar champion. Then on Monday, they had to wake up and play Brad Jacobs, just coming back from Italy with gold medals around their necks.
No kidding. Yes.
And the boys, they're doing pretty well out there. Now, they lost yesterday in a tight one, which might hurt their chances. But let's see here. Event details. Oh, gosh. What should I be going for?
I'm not sure, Kevin. When it comes to this stuff, this is your
draw
show,
schedule's
man.
not showing
I'm just
me
a
much.
talking head. What do I know?
Well, the top 3 from each pool moves on.
Yes.
Okay?
That much I know.
They're in the A pool, and you got to assume that Gushue and Jacobs are going to be 1-2.
Sure.
Okay? They're almost going to run the table. So they're really vying for that one other spot, and they're in the conversation, which would be really cool. And one thing I didn't know is Jaden King, who is their skip. He's being regarded as the first African-American ever skip at the Briar.
Yes, I'd heard that. That's a great story.
Which is very cool. Very cool to be a part of, and all the local connections. It's just awesome.
I mean, you talk about politics being dominated by old white guys, and that's one of those sports that it's been as white as snow for a long, long time. So it's great to see that. Speaking of gold medals, the last time we chatted was prior to the gold medal hockey game. Well, a couple of hockey games, including the gold medal game between the U.S. and Canada, the men, and we had mentioned the fact that it was going to be an incredible event, which it was. I watched the whole game, and millions and billions of other people watched the whole game as well. And I think it's generally accepted, as Kevin, we were talking about earlier, that Canada played their butts off against the U.S., and they were actually the better team, but they ended up on the losing end of it. You are more of a hockey guy than me. And as we know, sport, on any given day, one team can beat another.
Yep.
On any given day.
That's why they play the games.
Right. And if you ever join a sports team and expect to never lose, well, your expectations are too high. But what's just quickly, because I know Canada's kicked this game around forever. What was going through your head through this game?
I could not believe how well Canada was playing and how much they were outplaying the Americans. Coming in, all the pundits looked at the American lineup and said, wow, this stacks up right next to Canada. Some would say the Americans were the favorite coming in. I kind of leaned that way a little bit too, going, maybe it's, being Canadian and a defeatist personality, like, oh crap, we're probably going to lose. I thought American took it to us for the first 5 minutes, and after that, I could not believe just how much Canada was dominating the play. So I look at it, Lee, and say it's a win-win situation because America, the guys that know nothing about hockey, they just know they won, so they got the gold medal. And everybody in Canada who knows everything about hockey, we understand that, well, come on. We really won that game. Yeah, okay, you scored 3, we scored 2. All right, congratulations, you win. Or whatever it was, 2-1, whatever. I mean, just, we won. Come on, guys. We outplayed you. We kicked your butts.
We did outplay them. With one possible caveat to that, and again, I'm no hockey expert by any stretch of the imagination, is when you're playing 5-on-3 and you don't score a goal, there's something in your strategy that's not working.
Yeah,
except for the goalie. I mean, the goalie is the wild card, right? But still.
Yeah, I mean, that 5-on-3, Lee, oh God, I'll remember that till I die. I'll take that to my grave about how many times Cale Makar is going to pass the puck standing straight in the slot.
Yeah. Like that, they
have
had
you
90,
thought about shooting? Have you thought about shooting from there?
They had 95 seconds of 5-on-3. That's a lot of hockey time.
Yeah, and they had the puck for the majority of those 95, 93 seconds, and they had a lot of opportunities to shoot from the slot. And the funny thing is, 5-on-3 is not 5-on-4. 5-on-4, maybe you don't take that shot. 5-on-3, take that shot every time. And they passed it up, but you know what? They had so many chances to score. I'm really proud of how well they played, given the circumstance and the pressure. And I just hope that all of them hold their heads high. It just sucks, that for the likes of McDavid, McKinnon, that it's silver around their necks and not gold.
Without belaboring the point, I have another question for you. One of the things that crossed my mind is we had NHLers involved in Olympic hockey for the first time in a while. So you've got American NHLers that play on Canadian teams. You got Canadians that play on both sides of the border as well. Now, you've got these guys that are teammates in some cases, split up, and now they're opponents. You got a Canadian hockey player playing, or a player that plays on a Canadian team playing with a U.S. jersey, vice versa. Now, when all is said and done, and these are very intense competitions. I mean, let's be honest. The hockey gold is the holy grail of Winter Olympics around the world. So now you've got, after such an intense and sometimes kind of an antagonistic competition, these guys have to come back together. And same thing goes for the women. These guys have to come back together and now be buddies and play on the team and salute the flag. And I think that's got to be hard, don't you think?
If you're asking me, Lee, yeah, it's
I
difficult.
am asking
but
you, yeah.
Good thing is it's only like one or two relationships, right? You can still hate the other 25 guys on the other side. Right? There's probably only one or two guys in the room. You're like, yeah, I know that guy. He's actually an okay guy. But the rest of you, Team USA, I'll tell you where to go. Or the rest of you, Team Canada, I still don't like you guys.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's kind of a strange dynamic to have to undergo. Yeah. Let's salute some sponsors here. Grantham Home Hardware is our title sponsor here at the program. They power this show every couple of weeks, and we just have an absolute joy having them part of the program because they are what we are. They're locally owned, locally operated. They're Niagara-based and locally Canadian, genuinely Canadian, locally owned, as I mentioned. And Rob and Jake, the guys over there at Grantham, are just awesome people. Their staff is terrific, and they have rotating sales on all the time. So check them out online. I was actually going to reach out to them this morning, and I just totally ran out of time. But I'm seen some of their literature that's out there. So check them out because there's some pretty cool things coming up at Grantham Home Hardware, and we thank them very much for their support. Now, the Niagara Parks Commission came on with us, some months ago, and they've got some pretty interesting things coming up. David Adames, the CEO of the Niagara Parks Commission, was at Niagara Falls Council last night. Was he not, Kev?
Yeah, he was.
And there was a pretty interesting presentation that they put up there. Forgive us if we're going to spend a little bit of time on this because there are some kind of cool things that are in the offing here, and I'm just going to try to get my screen up here. Go.
Yeah, here. You want to talk about this now? I'll pull it up.
Yeah, sure. You want to do that?
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Yeah. Okay, so.
But yeah, he was there just giving a general update, almost like the state of the parks.
Yeah.
To Niagara Falls Council, saying, "Hey, here's some of the stuff we're working on," and some of it was pretty eye-opening. So I'll see if I can get the info up here.
One of them was the a cellular coverage corridor improvement in Niagara all along the parkway. If I'm stating this clearly, they're going to have state-of-the-art upgraded towers so that you can travel the entire length, it's 56 kilometers or whatever it is, along the Niagara Parkway without having cellular disruption. I don't know whether you have experienced this or not, but if you drive to Niagara Falls, or anywhere along the border for that matter, you will often get a note or a message from your cellular provider or one of their cellular providers. Welcome to the United States. You can, through your Bell account or whatever, you can have all kinds of coverage for X number of dollars a day. I think it's like $13 a day or something like that. And all of a sudden you click over to an American message service. Well, that should be something that this solves, if that's a problem. Now, I changed my plan so that I have international calling and texts and that kind of stuff. But anyway, they're going to have a shared tower. Well, there's Shared Tower Incorporated business to install cellular structures at identified priority locations across Niagara. Proposed sites on Niagara Parks Commission property within the town of Niagara-on-the-Lake, McFarland North parking lot, Browns Point, and Queenston Heights Park. So that's, it has to, I believe, Kev, support an improvement on that sort of confusing cellular reception issue.
And apparently, Lee, and this was corroborated by kind of moans and groans in the gallery, there are some dead spots along Niagara Parkway. People saying, and can be very dangerous for people that are using that for the recreation trail, especially after hours, because that's your lifeline right now, right?
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. The cell phone's your lifeline, so if there are dead spots, I didn't know that, and especially for tourists, right? If you're from another country and all of a sudden you're standing there and there's zero cell signal and you're trying to figure out how to navigate your way to the next winery or whatever, I mean...
Yeah, well, I mean, and it never used to be that big an issue, but now that people basically, their lifeline is their cellular reception and their hardware and softwares and stuff, it's pretty damned essential for people to not lose that connectivity. Another thing that they've got coming up, is kind of a cool initiative, is the Children's Garden that they have planned. Now, these things are not necessarily going to happen tomorrow, but they're part, as Kevin mentioned when David and Dames did the presentation, they're things that are on the kind of front or middle burner, if you will, of things that they've got planned. The 90th anniversary of the Niagara Parks Botanical Gardens and School of Horticulture, which is still a fascinating place to go see even in its current form. Working with the Niagara Parks Foundation to build a 4-acre, that's cool, 4-acre nature-based children's garden at the Botanical Gardens. It's a $15 million project. And once again, this is not taxpayer money. The Niagara Parks Commission is not funded by you, okay? Just to clarify that. There are focus groups and public engagement issues that were completed in 2025 so that they know how they're going to go forward now. Sue Ann Ramsden is the chair of the fundraising council. She's vice chair of the foundation itself. The design form awarded after rigorous selection process to complete tender-ready detailed design by this fall, and that is the MT Planners and VG Architects. So they're attempting to break ground on construction sometime this year, fall of this year. Opening sometime 2028.
This is really cool. It really lines up with the mandate of the Niagara Parks, which is it's a delicate balance between attracting tourists but maintaining the beauty of the land.
And serving the citizens of Niagara and their families. Yes.
How do you balance all of that? And this is a perfect way. They probably recognize that there's not enough to do on the Niagara Parks properties for children, so we need to address that, but we need to do it in an ecologically sensitive manner.
Yeah.
Okay, let's create an eco park, and they're doing it to the nth degree. You know, a $15 million project, the largest of its scale in Ontario, and set to open by summer of 2028. The only thing that I'm upset about is my kids are going to be like 12 and 14 at this time and may age themselves out of some of the fun, although I imagine I'll romp around there. That's pretty awesome. I love things like this.
Yeah.
You travel around the world, Lee, and you see lots of installations like this.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
And I think that's what the parks is doing, is they're looking around the world at other premier tourist destinations and borrowing.
Yeah, it's been my experience that, and not just because they're a sponsor of the program, but it's been my experience that when the parks do something, they do it right, and it's done well. Some of the attractions are aging. The Walk Behind the Falls is one of them, and they have a plan also to kind of upgrade that and add another tunnel to the experience.
Yeah, here it's
which
right here, Lee.
It should be cool.
Yeah, here. I mean, you just touched on it, so you're right. They do everything right, and that one there, Journey Behind the Falls, was getting a little aged.
It's a little lame-ish now.
Yeah.
It's been there for a long, long time.
So they recognize that.
And it could use an upgrade, yeah. Now, the other thing before we leave this is with the World Cup coming to North America, they have a plan, the parks, has a plan to make, to construct a viewing and experience of the World Cup matches that are played all in Queen Victoria Park, right down by the falls. It's going to be sort of like a World Cup stage area, tent, viewing park, if you will, when FIFA come to town. That's kind of neat. They're going to be right in the front lawn of Queen Victoria Place. They're calling it the Fan Zone by the Falls. The outdoor area will feature a licensed, covered patio with a stage, large viewing screens, and a mobile kitchen. Green space will feature themed activities and programming for kids and families. The activation will continue after the FIFA tournament with concerts and programming through to Labor Day. That is really, really neat.
So that there, sorry, Lee, go ahead.
No, you really go down there with your fellow soccer fans and have the experience as a community as opposed to just sitting in your rec room. It's going to be really cool.
So obviously this is just a rendering, but the installation will be in Queen Victoria Park.
Yeah.
Will be an awesome opportunity for like-minded soccer fans to gather. Niagara Falls, undoubtedly, Lee, is an international destination. When you put on an international tournament like this, you are going to have people from all corners of the globe in Niagara while the FIFA World Cup is ongoing, whether they came to North America for the FIFA or not.
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? Argentina's playing today. I'm Argentinian. I'm going to go down to Table Rock or Queen Victoria.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to watch it in this great outdoor atmosphere. It's going to be licensed. They'll have some food there and a stage. I think it's going to be a pretty cool place.
And to be fair, Niagara Falls is already an international destination. If you're traveling, be it Europe, be it the islands, or wherever it is, it's been my experience that if people ask you where you're from, the easiest thing is to say Niagara Falls. They might not even recognize Toronto necessarily, but Niagara Falls, everybody knows what that is. They might not understand what the city is, but they know what Niagara Falls is, and that kind of gives you that pins your location for people. And coming back to the amalgamation thing is some people have said, we already call it Niagara. Why don't we just call the whole thing Niagara? That's one position. So anyway, the World Cup thing is going to be very, very cool. The Fan Zone by the Falls.
Yeah, so lots of stuff happening, Lee, with Niagara Parks. It was great to see David Adames at Council last night and giving all these positive updates. You know, they're always moving forward at Niagara Parks, and as you mentioned, and he reiterated, not a penny of tax dollars goes towards Niagara Parks.
That's right.
Completely self-funded. The first 6 or 7 months of Niagara Takes Flight has been an overwhelming success.
Huge success.
So much so that they're upping staffing levels for the busy summer ahead because they're just expecting more than they even projected to kind of roll through there. So.
And a lot of their attractions in the past have been seasonal by nature, and that's one that is year-round. So that's kind of cool. Moving on with our loyal and patient sponsors. Having just devoted a fair bit of time to the parks, but I think it was worthwhile. I mean, it's a Niagara story, not just a sponsorship story. Vera Wellness, trauma-focused care for adults ready to find safety, strength, and peace. Founder Mika Matthews, a registered psychotherapist with over 7 years of experience in mental health and brain injury, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger topic in our world, and that is mental health. With all of the stresses and strains that we're experiencing at home and abroad, sometimes you need some help. Vera Wellness, check them out because that might be that source of assistance. And also Verge Insurance, they keep chugging along since 1953 for all of your insurance needs. A brokerage will help you find out what that is and the best place for you to get it. Auto, home, business, life insurance. They got an office here in St. Catharines, just over on Ontario Street, and then as well as one in Niagara Falls. So we appreciate that. Mark Shirk for your support, and the entire staff over at Verge Insurance Brokers. Because of this nice, sunny, warmer weather, I broke out the sort of more spring-like weather transition hat today. Obtained, as I have with all my hats, at Beau Chapeau on Queen Street, downtown Niagara on the Lake. Check them out. They're, if you think the word hat, there's only one place to go, Beau Chapeau. So Kevin Neufeld and gang, I'll be stopping by again soon as the season moves along. So get ready. So anyway, thank them for that. And Kevin, Mr. WeeStream guy, along with your partner Brandon Scram, while we have a second, what's going on with you?
Always busy. Always
Busy
doing,
is good.
Doing a variety of different things. On the weekend, we streamed a funeral for a very thankful and loving family down here in Niagara. We were at Pleasant View Funeral Homes on Saturday, providing that service for them. Coming up, we're going to be doing some provincial championships for Ontario Volleyball Association. We've worked with them for almost 10 years now, I would think.
Yeah, you've done a lot of work with them.
So very happy about that. And some municipal work. I think we're getting hired to do a town hall. As we mentioned, Niagara's A-word, amalgamation. So I think another municipality is going to be holding a town hall. And they have chosen to open it to the public and also to live stream it. And, we're going to be doing the graduation ceremony for the DSBN Academy again in June. So lots of different things that we got lots of balls in the air here at WeeStream. So thanks for asking, Lee. And how about yourself? Voice work? You still doing some of that?
I constantly am pretty much constantly working on audio books. I do a lot through Audible and Amazon and places like that, and it keeps me busy, keeps the little gray matter brain cells ticking along. Okay, and of course this is a wonderful opportunity for us to communicate with Niagara. Kevin and I don't get rich off this. We make a little bit, but we don't get rich, which is okay. We have a couple of sponsorships open. Speaking of that, here's the sales pitch. We have 2 sponsorships open. If you have a business or know someone that does have a business that would love to. What are you doing now?
I'm just pointing to where
the WeeStream.
Their brand would go right there.
Yeah, you'd go right up top.
Right
there. I thought you were giving me some sort of stage direction. What are you doing?
What's he doing?
Yeah, so if you think you would benefit by advertising your company or your business on our platform, on this platform that you're watching right now, we do have a couple of openings. Sometimes we're full and sometimes we're not, but right now we have a couple. So contact WeeStream and we can get that sorted out for you right there. Now, coming up on the show in about 20, 25 minutes is a lady by the name of Dianne Rintjema. I found out that was a Dutch name. So the people of that persuasion here in Niagara would recognize the name. Dianne Rintjema, she is actually a counselor for the town of Lincoln. She is a part-time employee at a planning firm here in Niagara. She has 2 20-something daughters, plus, on top of all that, she is the lead singer, and a damn good one too, for a band out of Beamsville area, or call it Niagara. Who knows how long it's going to be Lincoln. The A word again. But called Jasmine T Band. And we're going to have her on the program about 1:15 today, so we look forward to that. And we're going to play their new song that was released just recently as the song that will play us off the air today. Now, boy, this was a bust and a half, wasn't it? This was reported from an incident back in January. The NRPS began an investigation into the sale of illicit substances. A male suspect was observed, I love how they phrase these things, was observed to be exhibiting behavior consistent with the illegal trafficking of drugs.
What are those guys doing over there? They trading cards? Is that what they're doing? They seem to be passing small items back and forth.
Well, that behavior looks like illicit drug trafficking. The guy's selling dope, all right? So I guess you can't say that in an official release, but I love that line. Exhibiting behavior consistent with the illegal trafficking.
Well, look, he was slinging a little more than just dope.
Yeah, he was slinging a little bit more. 270 plus grams of fentanyl for a street value of about 60 grand. 450 grams of cocaine, street value 54 grand. 51 hydromorphine tablets, street value 10,000. This guy was he was decked out couple of replica handguns, which are like airsoft guns. I think they're not bullets, but they're pretty powerful if they can. And of course a crossbow. Doesn't everybody need one of those? And 6 throwing knives. So this dude is in a bit of trouble.
Cody Kostiff, 33-year-old.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. Now, Lee, of course, one of these comments absolutely blew us away. So congratulations to Andrew Wilson for winning the internet.
We Kevin and I both glommed onto this at separate sites. All knives are throwing knives if you want them to be.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Right. I mean,
oh, God.
Clearly, look, I guess those are throwing knives, but...
Well, in the world of martial arts, I suppose that's what you would call them.
I suppose, but I think Andrew's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
you might not do much damage with a kitchen knife, but you can throw it. You can throw it. And I think probably many a domestic altercation has resulted in the throwing of kitchen knives before. But that's just me. A lot of other things. There was a 12-year-old girl that was involved, was a victim of a hit and run in Niagara Falls. Now she's okay, but it was kind of a crappy incident. Anyone with info is asked to, of course, get in touch. Does anyone have any dash cam video of Dorchester and Dunn from this morning when this was posted a while back? Around 8:15 to 8:25, 12-year-old girl crossing the street. Car was waiting to turn right on a red. Okay. Now the child had right of way. A gray 4-door sedan type car with a blonde lady in her 30s driving turned illegally in to the child, hit the child, pushed her. I don't know what that meant. I guess with the car, and then drove away. That pretty much sucks. At that time in the morning, one would assume that there wouldn't be alcohol involved. I guess we can't not assume that, but.
But there, I mean, 2 major streets, but pretty residential in that neighborhood. I mean,
but what are you thinking when you make probably what was an innocent mistake, meaning you didn't intend to hit a child in a crosswalk? Hang around, help the kid out, or just make sure that people know what happened. A very similar thing happened to me. I was behind the wheel of a car, and I was making a turn on a green light, and I was legally making a left turn on a green light, and there was nobody in the crosswalk or anything else like that, and a young woman who was with child at the time, to make it even more stressful, stepped off the curb and walked right into my car as I was turning. Now that's scary. I didn't hit her, she hit me, but it looked, anytime a car meets a pedestrian, the car automatically gets blamed for it, at least until the story comes out. And everything turned out fine, she was okay, and everything was okay. But what my point is, I would have never thought of driving away. Even if I knew that it wasn't my fault, I couldn't go. I was, I guess, maybe a little bit in shock, because these things kind of have an effect on you. But I can't imagine driving away. It doesn't compute. I don't know how someone does that, especially a child. Like, really?
And we would have known, Lee. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what direction, but from the description of what happened, right, it would be this scenario where this car is waiting to turn right.
Yeah.
And the pedestrian, the 12-year-old girl,
is walking across
right
in front of the car.
In front of them.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes I could see where this one's turning right, and let's say they're walking in this direction.
Yeah, but that's not what was happening.
That's not what was happening. They left and walked right in front of them. So
the driver...
Or it could have been coming from this side as well, right? The pedestrian could have been walking from there across the road.
That is kind of what I was conjecturing, is the fact that the girl was walking from the other side of the street
Right.
The driver of the car is looking toward the direction that they're going to turn in and watching traffic that might be coming the other way and didn't see what was going on. That's what I would like to think.
Yeah, sometimes, Lee, I've been in this scenario, and I don't know why I'm making excuses for this driver.
I know.
But sometimes if this car here, okay, let's say that car is a bigger vehicle, it's a truck.
Yeah.
And you're squeezing down the right side to make a right-hand turn. I've sometimes been there where you start inching forward, and there's somebody walking right in front of that truck, and just as you inch forward to take a peek, they're all of a sudden right in front of you.
Yeah,
You
really do
smokes,
have to.
you have to be very careful. You have to anticipate the unknown, right?
You really
Hey,
have to pay attention.
This is a dangerous situation. If somebody's walking here, I don't want to speed up alongside where I can't see. But again, why am I making excuses for the driver, especially the driver that fled? You had to know you hit a.
This is the thing. I'm not. You can make an excuse for maybe an accidental mistake in judgment or paying attention, but leaving the scene is where you don't get any points from me for that at all. So, and hopefully somebody will have some dash cam videos. You say it's a pretty busy intersection. So, and we hope it wasn't too traumatic for the little girl. I think physically she's fine, but that can leave a bit of an emotional mark on you too. So we hope that she's okay. One of the classic things that we've all grown up with is, Mr. Firefighter, my cat's up in a tree and he won't come down. He's stuck up there. First of all, to cat parents everywhere, if you're going to teach a kid to climb, you got to teach him how to come down. You can't just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. But this woman really had an interesting experience. My cat is trapped in a tree about 6 meters high. What's that, 30-ish feet? Something like that, Kevin? 6 meters, 30, 40 feet?
Yeah, up there. 6 meters, probably 18, 20 feet.
Okay. I'm still not good on metric. And after calling all of the services that should be able to help, i.e. firefighters, animal control, shelters, the only option left is to contact someone who works with trees, an arborist or a pruner or tree feller. If anyone knows anybody that can help, let me know, and I appreciate it. So now, Kevin, there was a follow-up to this. There's a company that does this stuff, right?
There is, and Raina here is the one who jumped in,
Yeah.
and she runs, and gosh, you know what, I just can't click on it right now. I can get exactly it, cat rescue. But as you see here in the post, so there's the cat in question.
Yeah.
Obviously, no longer in the
pretty
tree.
cushy.
No longer in the tree. And whenever these situations arise, and people tagged Raina in the 411 post, they're like, Raina is the girl that can help you out. Here you go, Sarah. And hey, Affordable Tree Service, Adam Schramm, he works with the Heart and the Hope of Lost and Found Pets. There you go. So that's Raina. You can
Okay.
see there on the right side of the screen.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll link to that. So she runs this operation, and whenever she needs help in a tree, she calls Adam.
Neat.
So here's the response from the cat's owner. I'll let you read that, Lee.
Dear Regina and Adam, we truly don't have enough words to thank you for what you did for us. In such a stressful and emotional moment, you showed up with generosity, courage, and such big hearts. Thank you for not ignoring our situation, for being willing to help, and for making it possible for our cat to be safe today. What you did means more to us than we can express. People like you are what make this community truly special. We'll always be deeply grateful. And it's people like you in the Niagara 411 universe that do work as a community in so many different ways, for so many different reasons and so many different people. So it's kind of an interesting community to be a part. Good for you, Adam.
Here's our man, Adam. Kudos to Adam. And again, Lee, this is one of those, don't judge a book by its cover. I think a lot of people would see Adam here, beard, and he's got his hot rod in the background. Little did you know that when he can afford the time, he's the guy to call to get your cat out of your tree.
He's a cat saver.
Yeah, he's the guy who gets the cat out of the tree.
A cat humanitarian, if there is such a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you go. Either you have scrolling through his Facebook, and there's there you go. I wonder if that's Adam or not. These tree guys, the arborists, are just incredible.
They are.
I had one over at my house, Lee, and I couldn't believe he was doing this. He was up in the tree with the ropes and the chains and the boots, like it looked like a Bell lineman from the 1950s.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm just going to go like this here. I'm just going to walk up the tree. Like I'm going to use ropes.
Happened
and
in my
pulleys and-
backyard too when we had one taken down.
I couldn't believe that was the system, but it's the most effective. These guys know. And holy crap, were they good. But anyway, yeah, I mean, cat in a tree.
I am a lumberjack and I don't care.
It's funny, the cat in the tree story, though, it's just got
Yeah.
all kinds of...
Oh, I mean, it's just such a typical story, a cat in a tree. But it always used to be back in, here we go again, back in the day, of the firefighters to the rescue. I guess they don't come out for cats anymore. And I totally understand why you wouldn't send a crew of firefighters in a big truck out to get a cat out of a tree. I totally get it. But it used to be, probably, Kevin, that was about the only kind of service that was available that had ladders that would go up that high.
True.
So who else would you call? But anyway, there we go.
Now, Lee, here's a story that came across 411 just in the last 24 hours. And boy, oh boy, this lady could have used a firefighter. It wasn't a firefighter. It was just a good Samaritan that ended up walking by. But I think we all have elderly people in our lives. And, you know,
even,
this here makes me cringe on the inside.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
But you know what? Even not so elderly, people of any age can have a fall and be incapacitated. And this case could have been much more serious. Here was the thank you. I would like to send a huge thank you to the kind man on Baker Road who stopped to help my 73-year-old mom when she fell and smashed her face on her concrete patio. She was unable to get up and laid there yelling for help for over half an hour and even tried to crawl on stones to reach her phone. She lives in a rural area, so luckily this kind man was walking by and heard her and wanted to help. He retrieved her phone, which was out of her reach, so she could call me, and even after I arrived, he continued to stay and help as her face was bleeding heavily. He has renewed my faith that there are still kind people out there. And there were a few stories in Niagara 411 over the last week or so that continue to reinforce that positive message that, yeah, humans aren't all bad.
Yeah, I was trying to sift through the comments, Lee, to see if we could find out who the Good Samaritan was. And no, I mean, people just with their well wishes. Hope your mom is okay. Thank God he happened to come by. Kudos to the Good Samaritan. Thank you, sir. Bless this man. God bless them both.
But you know, it's...
oh, here we go. That's my boyfriend's mom and Nan. And I actually responded to Cody. Said, is she okay? And no response to that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's doing okay, but kind of lost in the story was like, okay, well, what happened to Nan?
Yeah. Well, we can only assume that she was patched up and hopefully her face heals and she's okay. But again, it does indicate that it's probably a good idea to plan for the unexpected. You know, make sure that people, especially if it's somebody that lives alone or is home alone a lot or whatever, irrespective of their age, really, because things can happen at whatever age. And 73 is not that old. 73 is the new 60 as far as I'm concerned, because I'm almost there. So, you know, but to have some sort of an emergency contact system. I realize the cell phone was there, but it was out of reach, okay. But it's a good idea to have this conversation with people that you know that are on their own a fair bit. Is, okay, what do you do if you can't do this or can't do that? How do you do that? How do you act? So maybe this story could help all of us have a bit of a lesson in planning, or at least expecting the unexpected. So.
Yeah, Lee, I don't know why I haven't seen one of these stories written up about you. You're always just delivering goodwill across. Last week, you told me you went to the Costco.
Yeah.
And you grabbed the empty cart from somebody because you were going into the store.
Yeah.
So that they didn't have to return it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why nobody wrote Nick about that. Said thank you to the Good Samaritan today who took my shopping cart all the way in from 3 spots deep.
But people that do that, they don't do it. It's nice that they do get recognized, but they don't do it for the recognition. Because if you're doing it for the recognition, you probably wouldn't bother.
Do you do that at the big stores like the Costco's? If you're walking in and you see somebody returning the cart, say, hey, you want me to take that in for you?
Well, this woman was struggling. So it was very obvious. What were you trying to get at?
No.
You
Just
poking?
that
You
no, you
poking
made me
me?
laugh. No, you made me laugh that you're going along with my little fantasy
Yeah.
play here of
But actually, I did.
lead the
But
Good Samaritan, returning the grocery carts.
it wasn't Costco. I did do that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I did do that. There was
Wow. And you kept silent about it?
Yeah,
You're a hero, Lee.
I know.
You may not have a
More
cape.
people should realize that. No. But I thought you just got the store wrong, because I was at the plaza on Lake Shore Road, the Metro supermarket.
Yeah,
plaza.
that one.
And there was a lady that was really struggling, and so I helped her to her car, got her stuff out, put it in the trunk, took this thing back. So yeah, I did that. But I mean, how do you not do something like that? An able-bodied guy walking by this woman that she's having a hard time getting down a curb that's like this high, and you have to help.
Now, you're just lucky that I wasn't there, because I would have offered to help you.
All
Sure.
right.
Do you need help with that?
All right. So you were making up a story that was actually a true story, and you didn't even know it.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was
See
a
how
true
well
story.
prepared this show is?
I know.
See how well prepared, just like a Swiss watch.
Very
Okay.
incredible. Here's a guy, Lee, that you and I talked about, because it's just, I know we're getting a little late in the season for this, but this story and the photos are just incredible.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to imagine on a day like today, bright, sunny, warm, that just a couple weeks ago, deep freeze.
And this opens up a bigger can of worms story, but here it is nevertheless. Hi all, I'm looking for some assistance in finding someone who may have dash cam footage of an accident I was involved in. The other driver involved in the accident drove off in their transport truck, likely unknowing of the situation. Thursday, Feb 19, around 7 a.m., I was driving to Fort Erie on the Niagara Skyway when a large chunk of ice flew off the top of a transport truck, smashed through my windshield. The truck was in the middle lane, slightly ahead of me, and the ice came off the top of the trailer and flew back to my car. This happened at the base of the Skyway near Steelco and Playtown, Niagara. I had to pull over immediately because my windshield was completely shattered and I couldn't see. I tried honking to get the driver's attention, but the truck continued driving. The truck appeared to be red and white, but I wasn't able to get the company name or license plate. So if you're driving to Fort Erie bound on the Skyway between 6:55 and 7:02 a.m., that's pretty specific, and have a dash cam, could you please let us know? So, and that's a problem that transport companies have not really, in the opinion of those that I know from the business, that they haven't really addressed properly. When you're getting on an airplane, they de-ice it. It's a big plane. It's a big vehicle. But they have big platforms and they have long hoses and they, you've probably seen them do it. Most, and I'm not saying all, but most transport companies that I've heard of, because I've known a few people in the industry, don't have such a contraption for, and all it would take is one of those rolling ladders like they have in hardware stores, and a hose, a proper hose, de-icer, and the drivers could just spray the top of the truck and melt the ice and get it off there. Because here's the crux of the matter: it actually is, as far as I know, the law that it is the driver of the vehicle, the truck. It's a truck driver that is responsible for ensuring that that vehicle is safe to drive. And that would include, in my humble opinion, cleaning the ice off the top. But a driver can't really get up there to do that. Not easily, anyway. So there's a bit of a loophole there in the Highway Traffic Act somewhere that should be able to address that, because that could have been fatal. I mean, that is a serious thing to go through if you're driving at speed. You're on the Queen Elizabeth Highway, so you're probably going 100 kilometers an hour or somewhere around there. That's gotta be a bit of a shock. I mean, to be able to even keep control of your vehicle at that point. So I'm glad the driver was okay, well enough to post that. But as Kevin said, we're probably past the season where that might be an issue going forward. But it also is a bit of a message that if it's an icy day or it's a wintry day, probably try to stay as far away from transport trucks as possible, because you never know what's going to come flying off there. I mean, it's even expected that drivers of cars, like regular cars, clean the snow off the roof. Do you clean the snow off the roof of your car, Kev?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because invariably, if you don't, that snow's blowing off, going back to the car behind you. So it's just something you should do.
I get it, though, because sometimes I see SUVs and I see shortish people behind the wheel, and I go, well, I can't expect everybody to have a hook and ladder set up in their driveway just to get to the top of the SUV. So
my wife is not a tall person. She's, I don't know, 5'2". I bought her a very long brush because she has one of those mid-size SUV vehicles that with a regular snow brush you wouldn't be able to reach. And so if I can't clean the snow off, she's got this long thing she can use if she needs it. So, I mean, Kevin, this is not a Mensa exam. I mean, these are simple solutions to everyday problems.
They really are. Once this winter, and I think I've done it once before, where I came up to a traffic light, it was a stop, and the guy in front of me had made zero effort to clean any more than his field of vision, like just the front windshield.
Oh, I know, yeah, it's great.
So I hopped out quickly with my brush and did the quickest little brush I could of his car, and then hopped back in my truck before the light turned green.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, like, listen, I don't know your circumstance. I'm actually just making everybody safer here, because you're going to make a blind lane change, or you're not going to see something coming. It's just going to be safer for all of us out here.
The life you save may be my own.
Right, exactly. So that's why I'm cleaning it. I'm not mad at you, but I'm helping us all out here.
Yeah. While we're waiting for our guests to come into the program today, I want to review our sponsorships once again. Powered by Grantham Home Hardware. This is episode 5 of season 7 already. Time doth fly by. Jake and Rob and the gang at Grantham Home Hardware, thank you very much for your support. Niagara Parks Commission, we went into some pretty good detail about their plans that are coming up in the next couple of years or so, and that sounds pretty exciting. And we really do appreciate you keeping in touch with the community by sponsoring this program. Vera Wellness, trauma-focused care for adults ready to find safety, strength, and peace. Psychotherapist Mika Matthews is the proprietor and founder of Vera Wellness. Check him out if there's anybody that you think in your family that needs some help. Verge Insurance Group, home, auto, business, life, for whatever your insurance needs in your budget. Give Virgin Insurance some contact. They're just over here. Their main office is on Ontario Street, right downtown in St. Catharines. We have good. I will get going here. Dianne Rintjema is kind of a Renaissance woman here in Niagara. She is a counselor from in the town of Lincoln. She works part-time for a planning support company here in Niagara. She has a couple of 20-something daughters, as well as a lead singer, and a darn good one, for a group called Jasmine T Band. And Dianne joins us here today. Hey, Dianne, how are you?
Hi, Lee. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You got us loud and clear?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. So you've got a lot of plates spinning in your life at once, don't you?
Yeah, it's a good thing. A little bit of a circus.
So the main reason we're here, although we could talk about a bunch of stuff, the main reason we're here is to talk about you and your band. First of all, we're going to start with the name, because I know most people won't get the reference, but you can clear it up for us. Jasmine, capital T, Band. Tell us where the name came from.
Okay, it's from a Rolling Stones song called Let It Bleed. And there's a line in the song, and it says, she drunk my health and scented jasmine tea. And I'm a big Stones fan, and so is my music partner, Ron Porter. And so it just kind of made sense. And the process leading up to it was really trying to find a name that wasn't taken anywhere else. And we went through a whole bunch of names because you have to find a name that nobody else is using, even, anywhere in North America at the time,
Yeah.
10 years ago. But every name that we sort of came up with was taken by somebody. So I was just sort of listening to the song when I heard Jasmine T, and like I said, I've always been a big Stones fan. I looked it up and nobody had taken it. So there it is. And it's an interesting story. People like it.
You know everybody. You know everybody wants to call you Jasmine, don't you?
And they do, and that's fine. I answered it Jasmine or Diane.
That's good.
Yeah.
So let's.
Sometimes it's a little awkward when they call me when they hear somebody else call me Diane, and wait a minute, I thought your name was Jasmine, and then I kind of have to explain, and people feel like they've made a mistake by calling me Jasmine, but I mean it just makes sense.
Well,
right?
Yeah. When maybe you should have the double persona. When you're in the band, you're Jasmine, and when you're just living your life, you're Diane.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, okay. So even when I sent you the first email to get in touch with you, I said, "Hi, Jasmine." I knew your name was Diane, but I said, "Hi, Jasmine," anyway.
I didn't even know that, to be honest, because I'm still answering to it.
So tell us about your musical background, because as I mentioned in the introduction, you're an incredible singer. You have a great voice, powerful voice, and what's the background? How long have you been doing music?
So 10 years. I've always wanted to sing, but I would say when I was younger, I was, people talk a lot about imposter syndrome, and just getting the nerve to go up and do something and be in front of people. And you kind of, a lot of people are plagued with those feelings like, who do you think you are? You're not good enough to do this.
Right.
Nobody's going to like you, all that stuff. But as the years passed, you get that feeling in your head that there's something you've always wanted to do, you better figure out a way to do it. So, not ironically, I guess, but the way things come together over time, Jens Hansen, who was a friend of yours and a friend of mine, I reached out to Jens actually, and I said, Jens, do you know anyone? I knew he knew some musicians, and he hooked me up with one fellow, and he invited my music partner Ron over, and they just played some songs when I sang, and Ron invited me to an open mic in St. Catharines at the time. I think it was called the Duck.
Oh yeah. That its slang was the Duck. It was across from GM.
Yeah, what was it called? The Golden Pheasant or something?
Golden Pheasant. That's the one. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody called it the Duck.
Yeah, that's what it was. So
I miss the Duck.
Went there, Mike. Huh?
I like the Duck. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
It was great for supporting live music, and there was has
Yeah.
quite a bit of reputation over time for its blues and open mics and just music support.
Yeah.
There's a few of those places around. Everywhere town you go in, there's an older building
Right.
that's been there kind of forever, for generations.
Yeah, it was a cool place.
Yeah. Like I think I mentioned to you the Norfolk Tavern we were talking the other day. It was like had been there forever. Everybody loved it. It was in their hearts, and then time marches on, right? So we went to an open mic there. I did, I think, 3 songs or something like that. Really, really nervous. And then the girl who was running the open mic at the time, Angela Syracusa, she said, "Come back and do 12 more songs." And so that was just overwhelming. And
12
I spent
more. Wow.
I think it was 12. It was something crazy.
That's like a whole album.
It is. So I remember being really nervous, having to memorize them, and it was something. So we came back 3 weeks later, did 12 songs. She invited us to come and play with her in King City at a restaurant there. I think it's called Locali.
Mm-hmm.
We went once a month for a few months, and then we just started booking, and then we became a full band, and that's the history of it. Yeah.
And how often do you play?
I would say we play, like March, we have about 10 or 12 gigs.
Wow.
Sometimes we play as a duo, sometimes we play as a full band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you do covers of other bands' music plus some original stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Thank you for asking. So about a year ago, we started recording at Grant Avenue Studio in Hamilton. And just February 19th, we released our first original song, and it's called Whiskey Makes Me Mean. And it was released on all major platforms, again, February 19th. It seems to be received quite well when we play it live. People like it. I know I like the song myself. And we've got other songs in the queue, also recording at Grant Avenue Studio, and we're planning to release them over the next 2 or 3
Good, nice.
months.
Well, we're going to play the song and the video that you have attached to it to play us off the stage. Every time we do this show, we have some Niagara connected artist as doing what I call play us off the stage. So we'll wrap up the show today with Whiskey Makes Me Mean. All right.
Sweet.
Does it?
Thank you. No, not really. I don't think so. We had a band practice just before Christmas. I'm telling this story, and our bass player brought some whiskey in. I was like, oh, well, work week is almost over. Let's have a couple of shots. I had a little more shots than I should have. And I asked later, was I mean? No, I wasn't mean. So let's just be clear on that.
So it's just a song.
On a regular basis. Well, it's more than just a song. I think a lot of people connect with it, and I think you'll see why. Whiskey, alcohol has its impact on people.
Oh, no question. In real life, it's a message to be taken seriously. But as a song, it's a fun song to listen to.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So you mentioned Ron Porter. He's kind of your go-to guy, co-writer.
Yes, he is.
And who are the other guys in the band?
Piero Itzo, he lives in Beamsville, and Jeff Barnum, who lives in Hamilton. Great players, great guys. This Saturday, we're playing live at the Lodge in Dover. It's the Masons Lodge. We're playing there from 2 to 6 if anybody wants to make the trip out. And then this Sunday, we'll be at Clifford Brewing in Hamilton. And there we'll be doing our originals, a 2-hour show with 6 original songs.
That's pretty cool. Where do you see this going for you? You just, I don't mean just. Do you want to maintain the bar kind of live music environment, or would you like to see it grow into something bigger?
Well, I think every musician who has their own original music wants to take it as far as they can, and I think it's probably a combination of that, and they just can't help themselves. They have to do their art. So our plan is just to keep working with Grant Avenue Studio and get the art out, get it in the best possible mastered format, make connections like I'm making with you today and with people all over Southern Ontario, and to open up for some really great bands. I think that we have a lot of respect for, and there's a lot of them out there.
So the Jasmine T Band, how do you describe your work? Because you're pretty, I mean, it's pretty, I would call it, I don't know, just because I was in the radio biz for a while, we have a lot of different labels for things, but I'd call it more of pop, rock, country, rock genre, because it's a pretty driving sound you've got. I saw you singing Heart and a couple of other songs, so you got a lot of noise there.
Well, I think we definitely lean toward an edgy sound and enjoy that, and that's why I've always been a big Rolling Stones fan, because I like their edgy kind of persona and the edgy feel in their music. There's darkness in there that really captures my attention, and there's dark in life, and there's light in life, and funny enough, music, people really connect to music that has a lot of the darkness, because they appreciate seeing something and seeing that somebody else is feeling what they're feeling or what they felt. So it's interesting. So it's an interesting conversation. You say rock country, and I agree, we're rock country. We like to do edgy stuff, but one of the things I like about country music is that it's happy music too, right? It's got that happy. And so, as far as your question as to what we are, I'd say I had to choose what we are when signing up with our music distributor and Spotify, and I think I chose the alt country category because that seems to really capture a lot of the things that we are, a little bit rock country and alt country as well.
Yeah, it's funny, Lee, we have a similar experience when people try to ask us what this is. Right? What is this show?
What is?
I was going to say the same thing, Kevin, the fact that we struggle with identity as well because nobody does what we do that we know of. And
that's a good thing.
And people say, what is it? Well, it's not It's a podcast. Well, it's not really a podcast.
Really? It's a video.
It's a
TV
video.
show.
It's a TV show. It's on TV.
But everybody
Well,
always
it's
wants
not
to.
on TV.
Everybody wants to pigeonhole you so that
Yeah.
they can figure it out. And at the end of the day, Jasmine, you're kind of just like us. You're like, well, why don't you come see it? And you either like it or you don't like it. But
You guys have crossed paths before, Dianne
Yeah.
and Kevin.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
in,
Kevin
in,
and I
in
have met a
professional
number of times.
circles.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, just because I'm really interested in the songwriting process. And in a minute here, we're going to be playing your new music video for Whiskey Makes Me Mean. And you kind of told us how you got to that song title. Where do you take it from there? And just so you know, I love pop music. I love hook-driven music. I love all kinds. But I look at that, so I wonder, for something like this, do you just take, hey, that's a cool line, that's a catchphrase, let's expand from there? Do you draw in from other, like maybe half-written songs that kind of fell on the cutting room floor and pull that in? Or is it more the other way? Are you starting with licks and bringing together your three verses in a bridge? Or is it strictly, you know what, we got a great line, Whiskey Makes Me Mean, and let's take it from there?
That's funny you should say that, because with Whiskey Makes Me Mean, it was really, we were setting up for a gig, and there was a wedding party happening inside, like a reception in the venue, and the bride was standing outside in her wedding dress, and one of the guests came up and said, hey, are you having a good time? She said, oh yeah, I'm having a good time. He said, have you had some shots? She said, oh yeah, I've had some shots. And he said, any whiskey? She said, no, whiskey makes me mean. And I was down, and literally within a week, Ron was saying to me, have you written any lyrics for that?
Yeah.
And I said, actually, yes, here it is. Whiskey makes me mean, whiskey makes me cheat, whiskey makes me mean, cheat, no sleep, no feel, no deal, whiskey makes me mean, whiskey makes me fun fight, stay out all night, I ain't quite right, whiskey makes me mean. So Ron said, play these chords.
It's
And
funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because that's how it came together. But to your question, Kevin, about do you have bits and pieces and sometimes pull them together? Yes, I have a couple of our original songs started off as bits and pieces, like, oh, I like that lick or I like that line. But Whiskey Makes Me Mean came together really, really quickly, and in a good way, I think.
When it comes to songwriting, I've had some familiarity with it over the years and talked to a lot of people about it, and it kind of can match both those scenarios that Kevin was talking about. For instance, as a classic example, everybody would know, Don Felder came into a band meeting with the Eagles one night and played the opening riff that he'd just developed for Hotel California. It wasn't a song; it was just a thing. He said, "What do you guys think of this?" And it became Hotel California, one of the biggest songs of all time. And that's how. And then other times, somebody like a Dylan or Lightfoot or whatever would write the lyrics first, because they were poets first and musicians second. So there's all different labels of writers out there.
And how it comes together, and it's so magical. Actually, it just gave me goosebumps talking about that, because it really is.
Yeah.
Oh, Lee, I know we got to run, but just this story has reminded me that I'm never going to do anything with this. Every once in a while, I jot down notes to myself,
Yes.
and one of them is country songs,
Okay.
because I get inspired every once in a while. So, Dianne, I'll throw this one to you. This is organic, came from my life, but I would call the song "Dead Man's Beer." And true story, and you could easily write three verses around this. And the genesis of it is my neighbor, who's in his 80s, his best friend had passed away. And sorry, I'm almost tearing up here. His best friend had passed away, and in some of his belongings, they found some beer. So whatever beer was left over, they gave to my neighbor. So I came over there shortly after. We kind of hugged it out because I was friends with his friend as well. And he said, "Hey, do you want one of Jack's beers?" And I said, "No, I couldn't possibly, Ted. That's for you." And I thought to myself, he just offered me a dead man's beer. And that's
a great premise for a song.
like what that meant to me, and about three different stories that you could wrap into that about losing a loved one, and what's left behind is their beer, and what are you going to do with it? I'm not going to throw it out. I'm going to sit there by the fire and drink a dead man's beer. So anyway, I give it to you because I think there's a country song there.
Yeah, being a Stones fan, before we close, there was a process whenever they got blocked on writing because they had albums that they had to come out or whatever. The Stones, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards would sit when they couldn't come up with anything. They would sit with like a million pieces of paper all with different phrases and words on them, and they throw them into the middle of the floor.
Oh my God.
And oftentimes when they went to pick them up in certain orders, it became songs.
Yeah, like your blue cat ate my pretzels, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or she gave me Jasmine T.
Yeah, right.
Dianne, we got to go.
Yeah,
Could talk with you for hours. Where do we find you if we want to follow you, follow the band?
Thanks for asking. So we have a Facebook page, Instagram, and all that, on all the socials, TikTok,
Okay.
etc. Website, but Jasmine T Band, JasmineTBand, on Facebook and Instagram. It'd be
All
great
right.
if you like it.
Just a pleasure meeting you. Fabulous chatting with you. I hope this goes some way to helping you realize your dreams out of this thing, and keep us posted on what's going on. All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on today.
We're gonna head right into Whiskey Makes Me Mean to play us off the show here. Kevin Jack, a pleasure as always. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks.
Baby, I hear your words in the morning, and I see the tear in your eye. You know, I always come back to hold you. Baby, you know me. You know, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And I do my best to start my day clean. But whiskey makes me mean. Whiskey makes me cheat. Whiskey makes me mean, cheat, no steal, no feel, no deal. Whiskey makes me mean. It makes me mean. It makes me cheat. It makes me run faster all night. Quite right. Whiskey makes me mean. Okay, just let me shake the dust from my boots and splash cold water on my face and try to remember why I'm here and how all this began. I never meant for it to be so hard. I never meant to let you down. But your suffering is my suffering, baby. And my suffering knows no bounds. Whiskey makes me mean. Whiskey makes me cheat. Whiskey makes me run faster all night. Quite right. Whiskey makes me mean. It makes me mean. It makes me cheat. It makes me mean, cheat, no seat, no feel, no eat. Whiskey makes me mean. I'm coming back to bed now, baby. To feel your beating heart. I'll be back tonight. And you leave on the light like you always do. I'm sorry, baby, this house just ain't enough. I know you always planned it to be. When they talk, and they will, just blame it on the whiskey. Whiskey makes me mean. Whiskey makes me cheat. Whiskey makes me mean, cheat, no sin, no